Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will be talking about myths, folk tales, and their relevance. And here you will find some certain things very interesting. First of all, let us look at a myth. What is a myth? A myth is something that resembles truth and gets due recognition because of the fact that it resembles a universal truth. Now, in this myth of Rip Van Winkle, the message of deep sleep and resurrection is echoed. Rip Van Winkle is a henpecked husband who leaves his house with his dog and he goes outside because his wife has given him a very sobering lecture. And there he meets certain dwarfs and they ask him to carry their barrels of rum. And later on, he drinks some wine from that barrel and he goes to sleep. He thinks he has slept for a day or so, but later on, he finds out that he slept for about a number of years. He returns to the town. His clothes are all torn and shaggy, and his gun has rusted. And he tries to trace his family, and he discovers that his family members are all dead, that there is a granddaughter who is alive, and he is able to meet her. So, the message here is that deep sleep and resurrection is not a myth, it is a reality. Then we find in the Sleeping Beauty again the same theme is expressed that the Sleeping Beauty wakes up after a number of years once the spell is over. Then we find that in the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs we have the queen who is a mean kind of a queen, and she has a magic mirror and she keeps on asking the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of us all or them all. And the mirror always tells her that she is the fairest. But when Snow White grows up to womanhood, then the mirror starts telling the queen that she is the fairest. And the queen becomes jealous and she puts a spell on Snow White. And later on, you see Snow White, it still lives and she is there with the dwarfs. So she goes and makes her eat a spell, an apple which has on which a spell has been cast, and Snow White goes to sleep. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you have heard that story so many times and enjoyed it with your kids. But then there is another angle that we learn from the mirror story, that mirror, mirror on the wall, that face is the index of the soul. So look at yourself in the mirror daily and thank God for giving you a beautiful face. Right now, we come on to the sleepers of the cave. The same theme is here that the sleepers who were seven in number, they had a dog with them. They slept in the cave for 309 years. They went into the cave because they wanted to escape the persecution which was being carried out by the heathen emperor. So when the there are two versions of it. Some say that it was Roman Emperor Dakianush or Theodosius in whose reign they went to sleep, and the other is there was another emperor. And however, in the Quran, it is given they slept in the cave for 309 years. But the messages. Now let's look at two of the verses of the Holy Quran from Surah Kaf. When the young men fled for refuge to the cave and said, "O Lord, give us mercy from thy presence and shape for us right conduct in our plight." So they entered the cave and there they fell asleep. And they slept for 309 years. And then again, we find here the message being given that on that day, in the same surah, but verse is 99, on that day we shall let some of them surge against others, and the trumpet will be blown. Then we shall gather them together in one gathering. So there is the reference of the trumpet being blown, and we know that it is a fact because it is given in the Quran that the trumpet will be blown. But let us look at some of the other myths which, in a way, give us a clue that this sound has a lot of power. We look at the common story of the Pied Piper, that there was a town in which the rats had put the entire population into chaos and confusion and they would disturb everyone. तो मेयर जो है उसने किसी एक पाइड पाइपर को कहा कि जी आप हमारे गांव को या शहर को इन चूहों से निकाल देंगे तो आपको इतनी अशरफियां देंगे। मगर जब उसने निकाल दिया उनको अपने ट्रम्पेट ब्लो करने के बाद, उनको दरिया में गर्क कर दिया, तो मेयर मुनकर हो गया, उसने कहा मैं इतने पैसे नहीं दे सकता। So then the Pied Piper again started blowing a note on his trumpet, and then entire population, the kids from the entire population, they started following him. Only one boy who was lame in leg, he was left behind. And the Pied Piper led them to a mountain, and the people couldn't see their children or meet their children again. So again, you see, the story gives us a suggestion that this trumpet or flute or whatever it is, that it will, in a way, be blown on the final day, and everyone will be summoned to a place for their accountability process. Then again, we have the story of Jason and the Argonauts. And here, Jason is in pursuit of the golden fleece. He's trying to establish a connection with the Creator, and the golden fleece stands for something very precious in the spiritual world, like immortality, etc. And he has to brave through many obstacles, and the most dangerous obstacle is the obstacle of the crushing rocks. And the crushing rock signifies those two hours, or the breakthrough comes either early in the morning, in the hours of the morning and evenings. So these are the two times when the rocks open, and one has to move swiftly through those rocks. Otherwise, the rocks again come back, they unite, and everyone who comes in between the fold of these rocks is shattered and broken into pieces. So there is a message here कि जी सुबह और शाम अल्लाह की इबादत करो, वो टाइम ऐसा है जिसमें आप अल्लाह का कुर्ब हासिल कर सकते हैं और एक आपको ब्रेक थ्रू मिल सकता है. So this is the symbolism and the myth of the crushing rocks. तो हम नतीजे पे क्या पहुंचते हैं कि myths and folk tales remind us of the truth and reality of our lives. They connect us with our past and reflect our dreams, future, and aspirations that lie in the future. In a fast moving world, a connection with these stories remind us where we stand, though they are meant for children, but then they give us very important messages. And myths of superheroes like Hercules, Superman, Batman, and Iron Man talk of the human dreams of becoming powerful. So, thank you very much. Stay safe and happy. God bless you.